Hello everyone and welcome. This is Heather here from Mercantile, and you are here for your special VIP Patreon Director's Cut video. So today's video we're going to be making 3 different types of strawberries, but you get the bonus content of the basket tutorial, that little pint container, which was a request by my aunt. She's been picking a lot of berries this week, so decided to send them. So in this basket tutorial, there's a lot of pieces. I did want to double up just to give it some extra bulk, and it probably took me about 4 sheets of felt to make the basket. And I'm just lining up 3 of the pieces, 2 of the side pieces plus the strip. And you can just hide your stitch on the inside and whip stitch along the edge. Whip stitch again is just in through one side, out through the other, then in through the first side. Again, just going across, and try and make your stitches as spaced evenly as possible. It does get easier with time, but I like this stitch a little bit better than the blanket stitch. So you're just going to want to whip stitch around the whole entire edge of this piece. Close it off entirely, tie off in the end. You can always hide your stitch in the little edge part. So on that strip, you're just going to keep the bottom side open, kind of like the effect, and you're going to be making all of the pieces into all 4 sides. I know it was just a fraction of a second between takes, but it was literally hours of sewing. So for the squares, I made one of the squares just slightly smaller than the other. And if I was to do this project again, I'd probably do a 4.5 inch square. I did this one a little bit bigger, just because it does make a larger finished basket, which isn't a problem. But I do like a look of maybe like a little smaller one. I think it turned out a little bit big. And also you need to make way more strawberries to fit inside, so and just whip stitch around the edge of that square. And once you've done that, you're just going to attach the sides on. So again, hide your knot on the inside, just whip stitch along the edges. I continued whip stitching in the parts that I wasn't attaching anything, just for the look. But you could also hide your stitch on the inside of the square, going over to the second piece you need to sew. So just all 4 sides, and it ends up looking something like this. So now you're just going to hide your stitch underneath that little strip there, and whip stitch along the whole edge. I just hid my knot on the inside piece. You can just pull your thread through and tie it off on the inside bottom corner, and just whip stitch all along. You'll probably want to tie off at the end of each corner, rather than carrying your stitch through. It's just a bit easier. So there, that is the finished little basket. Yeah, I would suggest doubling up on the layers. It might look too flimsy with just one layer for the sides and bottom. So next is our whole strawberry tutorial. And I did make a slight goof. I don't know why I did, because I'd been making these I think this was like the 20th one I made, but anyways, I did a single thread layer for this tutorial, and I wanted to do a double. I actually remembered halfway through and did the double, which I'll show you in the next tutorial for the half strawberry, but this will just give you an idea of how it looks different. The double layer is really nice. I like it a lot better, but this is sufficient. Just doesn't show up as much. Then I did the middle parts through the 2 pieces, leaving just a little space in the center there for the fold. And I just did each stitch line kind of just juxtaposed to the one before it. And then when you finish these off the lines, you'll want to do just 1/2 at a time, or sorry, 1/4 at a time, pretty much. 1/4, then the other quarter. And you can carry your stitches through on the back, just grabbing a little bit of fabric to go along to where you want to start again. And that's it. Lots of sewing, but it looks pretty good, so it was worth it. So first we're just going to take our red thread and just whip stitch that little wedge bit there. So when we turn it inside out, it gives us that bubbled effect. I like the look of this. I also had the option of maybe doing, without the wedge, just doing just a circle edge for finishing and then doing a long running stitch around to close it, but I kind of like the look of this closure a little bit better in shape. So I carried my stitch over just to the edge once I was done finishing this little wedge here. Just to the top corner, there we go, just to leave us room for stuffing and flipping it. So whip stitch all around to the other corner, leaving that bit open. And a little trick I learned to flip it inside out, you put your pinky finger in and then touch your thumb to your finger, and it makes it quite easy to flip. Found that one out after about 10 strawberries, so I was very happy to figure out that little flipping technique. And you can just stretch out the stitches in the inside to get your shape when you are stuffing. Then just do a zipper stitch to close it. You could do a whip stitch as well, but I just didn't want the little raw edge. And then we are going to attach the green. I also forgot to put green thread in the materials list at the beginning, but just anchor your green knot and hide it. And I just went around and attached it with some stitches. I went around twice, and the second time I did stitches where there were none before, so it kind of gave this cool circle shape in the end, which I was happy with. And I tied my knot and I hid my stitch underneath the green portion just so I could cut it off underneath. I've been liking that lately. Gives it a nice finished look. And that's it for the whole strawberry. So the next tutorial is for our half strawberry, and it's basically just a strawberry sliced in half, and all of the threads. So this one I actually show you how to double up on your thread. It's just I was really proud of how fast I threaded my needle there. And then I blew it with tying a knot, but we made it there eventually. So double thread, and you'll just want to go along the same way you did with the other one. See, the double looks so much nicer. It's like a nice thick looking seed. I don't think I'd use embroidery floss for this. It's just so delicate. I like embroidery floss, but sometimes it can catch on the felt too much, and I just prefer using like a cotton or poly thread. So then you'll make the front piece or the inside piece, I should say, of this half strawberry. Just hide your knot on the back and just go around and attach the white cream piece to the red piece. And you'll see there I put a stitch just outside on the red and then came back down through the white for the tip there. I just find it a lot easier to make sure that's anchored in. Then just sew around your little heart and sew around the edge, just a little running stitch or straight stitch, I should say. Then again, just whip stitch the wedge and put the two good sides together, ink your stitch over at the corner and just whip stitch all the way around, leaving yourself room to stuff and flip. So I did my little trick again. So I guess I should mention that I have patterns available now, and I'm going to be, they're going to be linked to my Etsy shop, so you can download the pattern if you want to just print it out and you can't figure out how to, the sizing of everything on your own. Totally understandable. I can link that pattern so that you have the extra help if needed. So then I just stitched that closed with the zipper stitch, just attaching the green. I went around in a half circle, just like I did with the whole strawberry to attach the green, and then I just whip stitched along the far edge of the green, the long edge. And that's pretty much it for the half strawberry. So see, I like the look of, oh my gosh, I need to turn my notifications off for these director's cuts. A lot is happening right now. So next is the tutorial for the strawberry slice. So you can use these in a pie. I like the look of them for a pie. If you want, at the end I show a piece of the apple pie tutorial on YouTube for the pie crust, and I just filled them with strawberries. But if you want to know how to make that pie, you can just go over and replace whatever fruit you want inside. With this one here, I just hid my knot on the inside and then did a stitch, a straight stitch, but picking up both edges of the white as I went around, and went around the whole inside, and then I hid my stitch underneath the white or the cream color to jump over to the edge, and then started doing it as well. So yeah, inside, then jump over, do the outside, and tie off. So once I did that, you take your red thread and you just do a whip stitch after hiding your knot inside, of course. Just do a whip stitch all around the edge, and that is pretty much it for the strawberry piece. So yeah, sorry, like I was saying before, if you are interested in patterns or if you've got any suggestions, please just email me. My email is info@feltmercantile.com, and just email us over there. Oh yeah, my fancy editing skills. And I appreciate all of the comments and the likes and subscribes over on YouTube, and absolutely appreciate that you guys are members of this channel and watching over here on Patreon. I think these are some of my favorite bits to do for filming, just playing around with everything. Then I always, when I'm done, give them to my kids to play with, so they appreciate it too. Thank you so much for being a member, and that was it for today's tutorial. I hope that you have a wonderful week, and thanks again for subscribing. Join us on our social. I love you guys. Have a great day. Bye.